Welcome to the 2022 PDGA Masters Disc Golf World Championships from the greater Peoria area of Illinois. It's Grant Zellner and Jennifer Allen with round 2 coverage of the FP40 division. Special thanks to Ace Run Pro for the footage, as well as Gatekeeper Media for the graphics. Here we are at McNaughton Park.
Yeah, new course, day 2. This is a beautiful course that's been in the area for a very long time, one of the first courses around. And here's our leaders. We have Owen with a 1-stroke lead over Holly, followed by Sarah, just a couple of strokes back, and Juliana Korver.
And you're right there chasing these guys down.
Owen Scoggins out of LA, sponsored by Innovadisc.
And here's Holly Finley, Tennessee.
And we have Sarah Hokom out of Caldwell. She is sponsored by MVP.
And Juliana Korver, like Holly Finley, of Innova and out of Iowa. Not too far from home. You're looking at hole number 1, a par 3.
Yeah, this is a 444-foot shot downhill. It's a pretty steep slope. You have to decide if you're going to take the hyzer around the right side of this tree and go under the branch and try to get the skip up, or take a nice straight shot on the inside gap, but you don't want to hyzer into the stuff on the left there. There's our basket.
From Los Angeles, California, Owen Scoggins.
A long par 3, lots of space to work with.
I'm just going to take that destroyer nice and wide and hope to miss a branch, and typically you do.
Next up, from Bell Buckle, Tennessee, Holly Finley.
I love the names of some of the towns in places like Tennessee.
Holly taking something understable and putting a flip-up hyzer on it to get that ride all the way down. That was a beautiful drive. She's going to be just outside circle 1.
From Caldwell, Idaho, Sarah Hokom.
Flipping over that forehand.
Yeah, beautiful flex shot, just a little high with it's such a big downhill slope, so she's fine out on the right side. Such a beautiful day out here. Juliana's got so much power. We want to get around that little skinny tree, and a nice skip up there just on the edge.
Yeah, rolled right out from underneath those branches.
It's kind of a tight spot. She'll have to probably lay that up, not really run it. Owen coming in hot.
Does well to use the background there.
Yeah, the box there for erosion prevention is kind of nice.
Yeah. The hill slopes up kind of behind the box too, so you can fire in with a lot of gusto here to this basket location. Here's Juliana trying to create a lie.
And just pitches out there. Doesn't get too bad of a roll.
And Holly now from 35 or 36 feet.
Such a great bid to start the day.
Just a little high on that one from Sarah from around 22 feet.
Yeah, no UDIS this week, but I would have to guess that this is not birdied very often by our FP40 field. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. Not a birdie on the day.
And Sarah cleans up the bogey there, and they're going to head up the hill to hole number 2.
We're looking at hole number 2, a par 3 at 276 feet.
Yeah, this again, a very steep downslope. So you can take a hyzer shot at it to try to not go too far. You have to be very careful to carry past the basket, but you also don't want to hyzer into the foliage and trees onto the left side. Again, another erosion box, and just nice, clean, straight shot really is probably the best play at this hole. A lot of us dropping down to putters or mids.
Yeah, distance control at a premium here.
Yeah, Owen takes a beautiful hyzer around and puts her just inside circle 1. Looks like Holly's going with a mid as well. Follows Owen's track nicely. Just a little high, but that tree helps keep her right inside the circle.
Nice little backstop there.
I think Juliana's going with her putter, AVR. And that floats just a little long. So even though she dissed down even further, the glide of the putter just carried it. Hokom really having to work something here. And that hyzer's out too early. What a great break.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that tree saved her probably at least 30, 40 more feet.
She'll be right around the edge of circle 2 there. There's Juliana from, looks like around 40. Sarah from just a little further.
Good bid. Wow. There was nothing that she did wrong there at all.
Dances across the chains.
Good solid putt. Flipped up the chain and just let it go all the way through.
One of the things I like about Holly's putting stroke, it's a very confident stroke. She putts probably harder than the average person, even from shorter distances.
Yeah, her and Maria Oliva both putt extremely hard, and I definitely see them probably get more kicks than anybody else. But sometimes that's how you get that putt into the basket, is committing and putting extremely hard and straight. Unfortunately, this happens.
She said that's dirty. She's probably not wrong, as Owen Scoggins opens up a 2-stroke lead over Holly Finley.
Play disc golf.
Pelaan frisbeegolfia.
Spill disc golf.
Ja.
To help recognize players of all ages and backgrounds, we are excited to announce the PDGA Global Master Series.
Beginning January 2023, anyone competing in a Masters division at a PDGA-sanctioned tournament will qualify.
You'll be ranked with other players in your division from around the world. And the player with the 8 highest rated rounds will become a PDGA Global Master Series champion.
Visit pdga.com/GMS.
Hole number 3, a par 3 at 255 feet.
Nice little fading shot to the right side. So something that's going a mid or putter that's going to turn over to the right. Or this is a great forehand or lefty hyzer hole. pretty rough ground around the basket, lots of tree roots that can flip up and cause some trouble. So landing it softly is key.
This hole is definitely gettable, played to an under par average for the field.
Owen's working that forehand and hoping not to get too big of a skip. No roll though, so that's just outside circle 1.
Here's Holly Finley.
If I had to guess, that's a Mirage. Such a fun disc to throw. It has a lot of glide, but is it definitely a flippy disc?
Juliana Korver.
Nice slow fading glide to the right. And maybe inside circle 1. That looks great.
Finally, Sarah Hokom.
Really working that high forehand perfectly. And you just see a few rolls on this hole. This green is a little faster than it appears.
Yep, a little bit sloped left to right as the disc comes in as well. So here's Holly. Pretty good run there from about 70 feet or so. Now Owen from down the hill.
You know she's going to run it. And cashes.
There you go.
There's you, an early run back. Probably will not be her only one of the day. She is the most deadly putter from that range.
Just remarkable.
Wow, that's a double back-to-back run back. Sarah's like, I can do that too.
Run back squared from no more than a step and a half closer.
That feels so good when someone just a little bit further makes it, and then it's your turn to top it off, and Juliana does the same.
Not to be big putted here at the third, so 3 of our foursome carding the birdie here at the third.
Holly taking a little bit more time with that one. That one looked to come off just a little bit softer.
So Owen with just a little bit more of a gap on Holly, Sarah, and Juliana lurking and looking to move up as we move on to hole number 4, 360 feet. A par 3 that starts downhill.
Yeah, we're going to go steeply downhill again. And you want to cut either left or right, depending forehand or backhand, around this tree to get right around to the front of that shaded area is about the edge of the circle. Nice clean straight shot with a stable fairway or a driver will let the disc hyzer down there just like you need it. Owen will probably show us this hyzer route here. That looks like her Tour Series Leopard, Halo Leopard. So not really a super stable disc, and that's a very smart choice, so that way it doesn't hyzer in too quickly on the left side. So taking something understable and releasing it on a hyzer. Juliana gets hers just a little low. Nice open putt though, and this is a pretty puttable green if you should. It's nice and flat, so you can confidently run some putts and not have too much worry.
Yeah, thick grass, it looks like, around this particular basket. Not a lot of footprints have worn the grass down, so not too much concern for skips long.
Holly lets that up just a little early and gets caught up in some of those branches on the left side.
So Holly to play first now.
You can tell that's still quite a distance downhill, but she plays it perfectly.
Juliana Korver looks like from a little over 100 feet.
Little approachable run.
Yeah.
She had great height on that and speed.
These discs really going to the ground right there and staying put next to this basket.
And Owen is starting the day nice and hot. That is 3 birdies in a row for Owen.
Sarah saving that par. A number of the holes here at McNaughton set up as pretty long par 3s for the FP40 field. Overheard some of the players talking about how it has a bit of an old school vibe to it when it comes to how it sets up for par among the FP40 field. So Owen extends that lead by another stroke over the rest of her card mates. And we go to the 5th, 303 feet, a par 3 with a big feature right there off the tee.
Yeah, I heard that did come into play a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and say I don't remember what I bushnelled, but this is longer than 303 feet, and it plays downhill. You really have to crush a nice straight fairway or driver out to the right side and let that slope down towards the basket. This is a lot quicker of a green than the previous hole. Sarah will be throwing her forehand flex shot around those big trees in the middle. Owen's going to do the same. It's a pretty big flex, and it's very difficult to miss those. They're kind of scattered along that middle left side. The hyzer shot is a lot easier to ride the hill. Juliana hits the line perfectly, and it's just hard, again, kind of like the previous hole. If you go too stable of a disc, you're going to drift down to the left side pretty quickly. So a slower speed disc or maybe an understable disc would hold the line a little bit better. So we're really working an understable disc and gets a good placement. That's just outside circle 1. Hard putt to run though.
Yeah, very downhill from there.
Holly's taking a tight inside gap, and it just filters everything down to that creek. There's nothing OB, but there's a lot of just kind of trees in the way. There's not a really great line down there.
Here's Owen from distance.
Get a skip. Oh, that didn't travel as far as she wanted to.
Looking well in excess of 40 feet now to save her par.
Holly gets a good punch out and is going to lay that disc up perfectly.
Great shot. There's Sarah with that challenging putt to run.
Yeah, she has the best run at it, though. She does such a lofty putt that it's not quite as risky as some of the other putters. Oh, such a good bid to save par.
Juliana places that up shot just below the basket. Taps out for her par. Everybody else cleaning things up, so Owen gives back a stroke.
Ledgestone. Every summer, hundreds of disc golfers flock to the greater Peoria, Illinois area to compete in the sport's richest and most charitable event, the Ledgestone Open. But what does Ledgestone look like for the rest of the year? On the surface, Ledgestone is one of disc golf's leading retailers. But look a little closer and you'll find a group of motivated individuals providing the best possible service to the disc golf community. So whether you're building a bag, wanting to support your favorite pro, or looking to add to your disc golf wardrobe, choose the retailer that's as passionate about the sport as you are. Choose Ledgestone.
Here we are at the par 3 6th, a short hole at 207 feet.
Yeah, it's going to play a lot longer than 207. You want to hit this gap in between those two big trees right there and just let probably a mid-range disc that just kind of finishes to the left. The main goal is just hitting that gap and getting the disc to land anywhere right up here in the grass.
Looks like if you end up very close to the basket, could skip off that hard pan, but just out to the right.
Yeah, you're going to
Thick
see
grass.
a lot slower speed disc. Juliana goes with her JK putter and gets that to stick perfectly.
Very nicely played there. Much more uphill, I think, than the camera would lead you to believe as Sarah takes the box.
Hits the line perfectly for a big forehand shot. She does those so well.
Here is Holly.
Holly releasing just a little bit early, but that should check up just inside circle 1. Owen hits the gap and also the first big tree right there in the middle to get around. She should still have a decent putt, probably back edge of circle 2. Just the uphill of the basket makes that feel a little bit longer.
Nicely under the basket for a stress-free par.
Wow. Dunks it in.
That disc coming downward so sharply as it finally reaches the chains, just dropping straight into the basket.
She knew, she's probably one of our taller FP40 FPO players. Her and Holly both have some height, so when that big downhill slope, taking the knee was trying to give her a more horizontal look at it. Holly's able to get the birdie after a pretty big skip.
Well played there.
And that's sometimes where, placement of where you feel more comfortable putting on the green. Holly took that inside route maybe just because she likes the uphill putt a little bit more than that downhill putt can be scary. Holly gets back within 2 strokes.
This is the par 3 7th, a longer par 3 for sure at 396 feet.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this is over 400, even though it's downhill. I think some of these distances are a little off, but you want to get nice and clean. It's really a placement shot. I really don't think anyone can get to the basket unless it hits and rolls, because it comes back to the left, then back to the right side. And this is also a quick green. It gets no grass underneath the basket. You have to be pretty careful on that second shot. Sarah's going to work her forehand around and hopefully not go back in on that right side. She has good angle. Beautiful drive.
Very nicely done. Looks like just outside of circle 1.
Yeah, that forehand throw is probably the only throw that can get there. I just didn't know if she would have the distance. The hyzer shot, even if you're flipping up something understable, just can't make that last turn back. Holly gets a good placement though, middle of the fairway. And say sometimes you can skip off there. To the left is a few bushes, and then past that is also a pond. So you kind of have to be careful not to get too big of a skip to go OB on that left side. This is a very difficult tee shot. Owen's going to work that Firebird right down by the basket.
Oh, it pops out right over there between the trees, so would have an unobstructed putt.
And this is where, great drive, but probably a little bit more difficult of an upshot than off the tee, because this green is quick. Holly gets a great turnover putt with her Colt that hyzers back softly. That's exactly how you have to do it to not skip away or down the hill. That looks like a polecat.
Juliana, it does. Looks like a
I guarantee,
trash can lid right
yeah,
there.
I guarantee you that was her polecat. which for the same reason, it's going to float and not skip too far.
Here's Sarah from just outside of circle 1, looking straight downhill.
Not too many birdie bids on this hole. This would be a huge, wow, great hole to get.
Running that back.
Again, not looking at stats, but I'm going to guess she was the only birdie on this hole.
You are exactly right. I was holding that secret in.
Yeah, this is not one to get birdied. Pars are great. That is an excellent 2 to get one on the entire field.
Oh, and a nice job to save that par.
Good clean stroke by Juliana. And Holly cleans up par as well. We're almost halfway through the front 9 of McNaughton.
Check out Ace Run Pro's Patreon crew. Keep these guys out on the road bringing you the content that you are enjoying, like content you're enjoying right now. Giveaways every month, and Patreon starts at $3 a month. Hole number 8 is a 276-foot par 3 playing down and then up.
Yeah, this I think is one of my favorite holes on the entire course. It has a beautiful line for this soft fading shot. You want to throw it nice and flat out here towards that big tree in the middle and let the disc finish right there to the right.
I'll bet this basket was a bit higher on the hillside than our viewers were initially looking. It's pretty far up there.
And there has been deer all around these courses and the town. And they are so used to the people. They are not scared at all.
Somebody check that deer for a spectator badge.
That's Sue Bob and Bobby Sue.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say, there was a couple of them.
Wildlife.
Oh, there's another back over there to the... There they go. Sarah now refocused.
And this sets up beautifully for her forehand. She just has to get around that last branch. And that's going to be just about circle's edge. Holly throwing an understable disc. I think she likes the Roadrunner quite a bit. It's going to be pin high off to the left side of the basket.
Juliana getting a little bit more turn.
Yeah, that's the beautiful line of the hole. She played it exactly like it's drawn up.
Running back a tee shot here. Get a good look at this from the other side.
So she has the disc do all the work, not her shot. She throws it out there nice and flat, hits the gap perfectly, and lets the disc finish to the right. Well played. Owen's going to work her destroyer, get a good skip.
Oh.
Hung up on the grass quite a bit. Yeah, I didn't expect it to dig in so much. A lot of rain out here. The grass is pretty thick. Oh, that looked in at her hand. I didn't want to say a thing. And that is the most frustrating thing. I'll speak from experience, Holly. I got your back. There's nothing worse than a beautiful putt. You did nothing wrong and get that penalty. Sarah gives it a good bid. Hopefully Holly can save this one. Way to focus. She definitely deserved that par. Had to work extra hard for it.
Well played. Here's Owen from nearly the same distance.
Not too characteristic of Owen to miss a putt, but she is human, and it does happen.
JK in for the stress-free birdie. But no change at the top. And just like that, we're nearly through this front 9 here on day 2. Hole 9 is a par 3 at 255 feet.
Yeah, you want to just a nice slow speed disc that's going to hit this gap and softly finish to the left. And I say softly because the pond is down there, guarded quite a bit by some of the trees, but the OB pond is back there. It is a quick green. And it's a short hole, so you can find it pretty easily with the wrong disc. Juliana throwing, I would assume, her AVR and gets a good stop by the tree.
That might have been a helpful stop there for sure.
Sarah's been working on a great forehand, but when you have to hit these little gaps, there's no one better. That is, wow, unfortunate, like I said, the fast green, but for her to do a forehand hyzer perfectly like that, that was a beautiful shot. Holly throwing something flippy to get the nice slow ride of the disc straight, because the hill will help you finish left.
Yeah, everyone having to throw these with the nose up maybe just a touch.
Yeah, you don't want to get it too high here. You get it high, you're going to skip down the hill like Owen did. She was stopped by a lot of the bushes on the left, though.
So here's Sarah, looks like just outside the circle.
She had hit one of those earlier. I really felt like she was going to cash that one in as well.
Oh boy.
Used her legs, good strong bid, just a little high. Owen is back there.
Somewhere through the thicket.
She'd missed the other one, so you knew she was going to make it. It didn't matter if there was a house in the way. She is not going to miss 2 putts in a row. Nice strong putt by Holly to get the birdie as well.
Yeah, on a downhill putt, that was a really, really confident bid. If that had missed, it would have gone easily 30 feet by.
And we are wrapped up the front 9 of the second round of the Masters World Championships. And it's a tight race.
It is. Owen maintaining that close 2-stroke lead. Sarah and JK right in the hunt. You can see the rest of the leaderboard right there. Nobody out of it yet. Everybody knocking on the door of that lead card with 9 more holes to go in this second round here at McNaughton. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to the PDGA right here on YouTube in particular so that you don't miss a minute of the action. We will return with back 9 coverage of the FP40 division here at the 2022 Masters World Championships.